PTO stands for Prepare the Others, because I will not be here that day.
PTO, prepare the others, because I won't be there. This is too good. PTO, there's so much conflict that can be in the whole process. My name is Lance Muri. I'm an HR partner, and I had to give you my take on this one. If you guys are not familiar with TikTok comedian GraesonMcgaha, you should follow him. Just at least watch some of his videos. Some maybe not suitable for work, but his stuff on corporate humor is just spot on from the employee's perspective, even HR and leadership perspective. He has it down, and there's just so much humor in really the craziness that is corporate America. So really my HR take is some feedback for employers, HR, even employees to avoid situations like Grayson. And it starts with setting expectations early. Have some clear guidelines with PTO on how it should be used. Typically for most companies, it's having some PTO request to your supervisor 2 weeks in advance of the time you're wanting to take off and getting some approval. For employees, I highly recommend getting it documented. A lot of things are automated with your approval request if it's in a timekeeping system. But if not, even just an email, a text message to your supervisor, making sure you have some documentation that you put in the time and that it's approved. For the leadership or the HR partners out there, be consistent. It's really important to avoid even the perception of favoritism or differential treatment in approving PTO or the whole process. Employees want to be treated fairly, so make sure you're consistent with whatever your guidelines you already have set and the practices that you're putting into place. For HR and leadership, I also encourage you to be cautious with exceptions to your policy. You don't want to have that perception of favoritism. The more consistent you are with not allowing exceptions, the safer you probably will be. I do always encourage be people-centric. If there's something like a leave doesn't account for, like the death of a family member, a bereavement hasn't taken place yet, or medical leave hasn't taken place yet, but there are some extenuating circumstances, document if you're going to make any exception and be consistent to that. You just don't want to put yourself in a tricky situation where you're not being fair to everyone. The last bit of advice that I have is if you are one that accumulates PTO, make sure you get out and use it. It is so important for you to get out of the workplace, recharge your batteries with family, the events that are personal to you, so when you come back to work, you can feel like you can really get engaged. Get that documentation like I talked about, that it's been approved. Grayson, I hope in your situation, man, that you had it approved 6 months out and you were able to show HR and management, hey, we already talked about this, I'm going. HR leaders, supervisors, make sure you're doing your best to approve that PTO and build that trust by being consistent in the process. Thank you all. We'll talk to you later.